Alrighty. This popped up in my YouTube. I'm curious. I like Monster Hunter. All right. So I'm curious. I want to see what Big Boss Carl Jobst has to say about the Monster Hunter has a cheating problem. Whew!
Hello, you absolute legends. In 2023, the Monster Hunter World speedrunning community began to witness something astonishing. A Chinese speedrunner known as Bad Cat started to dominate the game in a way that no one had ever seen.
Okay, so when I first started playing Monster Hunter, I bounced around to like a couple weapons and whatnot, and I was playing a little bit of everything, but I mean, essentially I settled on Sword and Shield for a good amount of time. And in so doing that, I found that my YouTube started to just populate with random speed runs of monsters. And it kind of revealed to me that, oh, these are like little mini speed runs. Because, you know, traditionally when you think of speed run, you think of like an entire game. And what I realized that what they did in Monster Hunter is, you know, you just pick a quest, or, you know, a lot of the times they would just be like the end game quests of XYZ monster with whatever gear that you want at the time. And a lot of the time it's like all offense, because like the defense of the dodge is like good enough to get around and do everything. So you might as well just stack everything on offense, which kind of dilutes the new player experience into thinking that you only go like offense stuff and don't do anything defense, which was, you know, I found was kind of silly. You know, in the beginning I tried it, and then I quickly realized, oh, I'm not good enough to be all offense. So I need to put in some defensive shit in my gear. So it's whatever. Me and my buddy played for many hours in this game. And yeah, I mean, I don't know about finding this particular speedrunner, but God dang it, like from the first video I watched, I saw people doing like no hits of perfect choreography of, you know, their favorite weapon against some monster. And I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. And then that's what kind of prompted me to like learn a little bit more about Monster Hunter. And not only Monster Hunter, but you should adopt this same type of mindset towards Souls-like games in general, because I never thought like this. So the speedrunning community is cool, but apparently there's some cheaters in there.
They were crushing world records left and right. It seemed like every few days they would upload a new world record, and there was no monster they couldn't completely dominate. This shouldn't really happen, at least not in Monster Hunter. This is because, as is true for many games when it comes to speedrunning, Monster Hunter is very luck dependent.
Yeah.
Yes, in order to achieve world records you need a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge about the game, but you also need the monsters to cooperate.
So what does he mean by luck? So there's a lot of things that can lead up, or a lot of things that need to happen up until the record run. You need to have all the best gear, all the best gems. And in Monster Hunter, if you played Monster Hunter World or Iceborne, you know that it's a bitch to get a lot of the really good offensive gems. And it's really annoying. But if you mod the game, you can just mod in like all the gear and all the gems. It's fine. It's whatever. There's like, it goes in layers of levels of cheats that, I mean, is generally agreed upon. That it's like, this is, if you do this mod, it's okay. But if you do that mod, it's not okay. And there's a ton of different like knowledge barriers that you have to go through. Like, you have to know the hit zone values of each type of weapon, like slashing, blunt, and the shot type on each different monster. You have to know the elemental damage properties of each type of monster on each different like part of their body. You have to know the motion values for all of your moves in terms of like frame data. You know, you think of frame data, you think of a fighting game. You know, like if you can have like a 4-frame jab, you know that motherfucker's pretty fast, like bop, bop, bop. It's kind of the same way for Monster Hunter, like different moves. Like if you have a speedy move and but it doesn't really hit that well, or like it's really light. It's kind of like a useless move. But if you have like a really speedy move that hits like really hard, generally, I mean, well, not generally, but like sometimes the little speedy move will be like the end of a combo, and you always want to hit that part of the combo. Depending on the positioning of the monster, but the positioning of you. There's the positioning, like the level of know-how in this game that was revealed to me was astounding. It goes into so much of you have to know like the angle of attack for all of your weapons. Like if the monster is in this position, you can get away with doing like an overhead attack, or if you do like a quick draw type move or something, you can like whip that out really quick in this frame. You have to know whether or not the monster is like enraged or not, and this is all like kind of basic. There's probably like way more levels that I'm not even talking about, but it's both cool and daunting.
Monster behavior is random, and certain monster actions allow you to use more optimal strategies. If you get lucky and the monster chooses favorable actions, you can do damage quicker and kill them faster. Normally, players would need to grind monsters for a long time to get the best luck, but
what I learned from watching a lot of videos is that every monster, they have their two phases of they're either not enraged or they are enraged. And if the monster is not enraged, sometimes between moves, depending on the situation, there will be like a little idle animation that you can get away with like doing something shisty. But when the monster is enraged, that little idle animation goes away, and the monster just seamlessly transitions from move to move, giving it the illusion that it's constantly attacking, it's enraged. Yeah. What else? Okay, I was gonna say some more shit, but let me hear.
Not this speedrunner. This force from the east.
Oh, I remember. Okay. And a lot of the times, a lot of monsters will have somewhere in the ballpark of between 10 to about 20 moves. You can play a fight like, I don't know, a couple times, go back, VOD review it. Maybe a move will come out on the left side. Maybe they'll do the same move on the right side. Those are two like separate moves, or whether or not you count that as like one move or two moves, it's like up to you. But like most monsters have about 10 to 20 moves, and they're always gonna do them. So if a monster does a certain move where it leaves it vulnerable for like a certain period of time, they want to keep replicating that situation to make that monster do that do that same move as many times as they can, because that's just like a really easy move to predict.
Would get optimal luck extremely quickly, far quicker than anyone else, and they were accumulating a world record tally that was unbelievable. The other speedrunners felt like this shouldn't be possible, but just saying that someone is getting too lucky isn't really good enough. Unless, of course, the odds are stupidly unrealistic. However, the real truth would soon be revealed when another speedrunner noticed that one of the monsters did something that shouldn't be possible. This wasn't an instance of monster behavior that was just unlikely, this was something no one else had ever seen before, not once in the history of the game. And sure enough, when experts checked the game files and examined—
Oh, let me read this. AI manipulation, max punch. So I'll read this, but in general, the monster will have about like somewhere between 10 and 20 moves, and there will be different circumstances or situations where a monster will like scan that. Well, like you don't really see it happen in game, but a monster will just be like, scan situation. Okay, it's this situation. Do this move, and it's supposed to be random, like 100% random. But when you start to, I mean, I don't know anything about data mining or changing like monster AI or anything like that, but with Monster Hunter speedrunning, it's very, well, it is just frowned upon to change the monster AI. AI manipulation. So if a monster just stands there and roars like 4 times in the row, it could happen, but the chances of that are happening are really, really, really tiny. So if something like that does happen, it brings the question into everyone's head: did he AI manipulate that? But let me just read this real quick. AI manipulation, max punch. This 4-minute, 54-second time attack wiki insect glaive run of Master Rank Kolftaroth by that guy, a person, I don't know. Cat has been brought to my attention according to an experienced KT runner. The final attack Kolftaroth does in this run should not be possible. The max punch move should not occur after Kolftaroth has enraged in Phase 3. This analysis aims to show whether or not this attack can legally occur in Phase 3 post-enrage. The main files we analyzed that dictated Kolftaroth's attack patterns were this file and that file. Node 141 and node 142 are the key nodes for calling the max punch attack. So you have like a node, and that's the node there. If these circumstances are met, do this move. If these circumstances are met, do that move.
The code, it was confirmed. This particular action at this particular time wasn't possible. It was clear that this speedrunner was modifying the game and changing the way that monsters behave in order to kill them faster.
So only people that play the game at the highest level can identify this. That little paragraph just described a person as being a high rank Kolftaroth runner. Not every speedrunner can speedrun everything and set a record in it. You have to specialize in this stuff, which is kind of crazy, but kind of cool. The further you delve deeper into like the whole Monster Hunter thing. But seemingly to a normal, just average player like myself, if I see someone take down Kolftaroth like super speedy, I'm going, oh shit, that was fast. This guy's goated. What the hell?
After they were exposed, the speedrunner stopped uploading runs, but on their very last upload, the title was different from the others. It now revealed the truth, that it was tool-assisted. Monster Hunter has a cheating problem, and
the tool-assisted. So because they put the TAS, tool-assisted system, they just did that. And here's, my question is, ever since I learned about the Monster Hunter speedrun community, I never really knew is there like an official organization, an official website, an official group? There's probably like a Discord somewhere. But I never really knew about like the one-stop shop, end-all be-all website to be like, we verify everything here. This is the place. I never really saw that group. So yeah.
Over the past several months, a slew of speedrunners have been exposed as hacking the game to get unrealistic monster behavior. And
however, whenever I was playing Monster Hunter World, eventually I was like getting into speedrunning, but I was like horrible. I didn't even know I tried to do like a little bit of it, but then quickly realized, oh my god, I'm just going through resources so quick, and it's like, oh my god, do these guys farm all the resources and shit? And it's like, no, they just mod them all in. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's fine to just mod all that shit in, just so you can have like a quote unquote pseudo speedrun mode where you have all the resources, all the armors, all of the gems at your disposal, just so you can bypass that like gather phase. Provided like you like beat the game first or whatever. Like, everyone does their first playthrough to just experience the game, but if you really like the game but you dislike the gathering aspect of it, and you just like don't give a shit about it to like not participate in it, well, that's fine. Because Monster Hunter, you can mod in all that shit. You can essentially play Monster Hunter like completely solo, which is fine. I mean, personally, I could care less. about, you know, whether or not you think modding the game in and all the like the and you just get all the armors, you get all the gems, and you get all of the craftables and whatnot. I could care less. It doesn't really, like, the only reason it would affect me is if like I flare and then all of a sudden some modder comes in and just like one shots the boss, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm just like, I'd be like taken aback or whatever. So there is that aspect. I mean, again, this is like the speedrun community, it seems, is like, I don't know, it's very enigmatic. Like, I don't know like what is and is not acceptable. Like, I mean, maybe it is. Like, all the speedrunners like just modding in all their gear, all the weapons, all the gems and shit, and like all the resources just so they have like 99999 everything, so they don't have to go farm, which is fine. I mean, I don't give a shit. Just so they can have a chance to produce like a video of like, oh, this is the speedrun. And even in like some of these quests or speedrun videos, they will mod the monster to consistently spawn at a specific point in order to take out the randomness of it, because, you know, obviously, do you think it's like super skillful to think that, okay, this guy just got lucky and knocked off like 2 minutes just because he got lucky and the monster spawned at a like a spot that's like closer to a camp or something like that? It's like, well, I mean, I guess that's like okay if they just like fix like the fixed monster spawn locations. I mean, sure. I mean, I would say like Monster Hunter speedrun, the main attractive like driving force behind it is like the interaction between the character and the monster, and like the dance that occurs between everything. Because, you know, when you see some like high level speedruns and shit, it's cool. It looks like choreography, like out of a movie and shit. It's very cool.
And what's worse is that they are racking up millions of views with unaware viewers that believe their achievements are completely real.
Oh, and I'm not sure, but if this guy like modded in the little gajalakas or whatever so that they would help damage the monster with the spears, because
In this video, we will take a look at how speedrunners are cheating their way.
I didn't even know gajalakas. I mean, I'm not sure if this is like a tool assisted run or whatever. Maybe he spawned in like the little gajalakas to like come over here when normally they don't even come over here. So, okay.
Into Monster Hunter fame and earning
all the
a pretty
spears
penny while doing it. I really hope you enjoy. Now, legends, this video is brought to you by the heroes over at Red Magic. Red Magic specialize in creating professional gaming equipment, and they have just released their brand new gaming mobile, the Red Magic 9S Pro. The Red Magic 9S Pro is specifically designed for people like you and I who like to use our phones for gaming. The specs are insane, featuring a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 leading version processor and a huge 16GB of RAM. And personally, I really love the battery, which boasts a massive 6,500 mAh and charges in less than 1 hour. But how cool is this? Red Magic connects seamlessly to your TV, so I installed a bunch of emulators, and I've been using it as a mini PC to play all of my favorite classic consoles.
That's badass.
It's not just a gaming phone, it really is a portable console that you take with you everywhere. It features lightning-fast shoulder triggers, and with Red Magic's incredible Ice 13.5 cooling system, this thing remains cold at all times no matter how intensive your gaming gets. It has a huge screen that looks great and comes in 4 sexy designs. And because Red Magic has streamlined their phone to specialize in gaming, it's only around half the price of other leading mobile phones. If you love gaming on your phone and you want the best possible experience, definitely give the Red Magic 9S Pro a look. The link is in the description.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
RNG is a variable that gamers have to deal with in almost every single game that exists. It's the very thing that drives enemy behavior in order to achieve a more unpredictable and interesting gaming experience. In speedrunning, enemy behavior is almost always one of the most impactful variables. We need enemies to do certain things at certain times in order to get things done in the quickest time. And in a game like Monster Hunter, monster behavior is almost everything. That's because the entire game revolves around fighting monsters. In Monster Hunter, players begin quests which involve slaying a particular monster. Once the monster is slayed and the quest is completed, the game shows your completion time. It's this in-game timer that speedrunners and the general community use to time their runs.
Yeah, it's like the universal time that just the game just tells you, which I think is fine, because if you didn't do it, it'd be a little bit harder to like try to get the precise time, like to where you could actually like start time, stop time. You'd have to depend on a person, and it's like it's just another like human error part.
Speedrunning Monster Hunter involves a lot of planning. Players theorize and craft special builds and try to plan out as best they can which skills and buffs they will implement and in what order. Players also need to plan when and where they will deal damage to fully take advantage of in-game mechanics. Each monster has unique damage thresholds that allow you to stun, stagger, or knock them down. And doing these at the optimal time will give you the greatest amount of control over the monster so you can continue to do as much damage as possible.
Oh yeah.
This requires a lot of calculation, and runners spend a lot of time planning which attacks to use, when to use them, and which areas of the monsters to target. This is called scripting, and players will try to script as much of each fight as they can. However, as monsters become stronger and the fights grow longer, this adds more and more RNG into the mix. Obviously, if a fight is longer, a monster will execute more actions, and because each action is random, things become less and less predictable. And this is especially important because some actions are more beneficial than others. Some attacks don't require you to dodge or move around as much, and thus you can keep attacking and doing damage. The best Monster Hunter speedrunners have fights down to a science, and they know the best ways to punish any particular move a monster does. But because each move is punishable by a different amount, getting lucky is going to help you kill the monster quicker, and getting unlucky can completely destroy any chances of a new record. For example, when fighting against the monster Alatreon, which you will remember from my videos looking at Queen Pontalot's fake blindfold runs, when using the heavy bow gun, runners hope that the monster does the lightning rain attack as much as possible. During this attack, the runner can continue to spam attacks and they don't need to move. One runner that got particularly lucky with Alatreon—
Damn, that's Pierce doing all that damage. Holy shit.
was a runner known as Deva. Deva is certainly one of the most well-known Monster Hunter speedrunners in the entire world, and have used their speedruns to help build a modestly successful YouTube channel, boasting over 70,000 subscribers and tens of millions of channel views.
Yeah, I've seen this guy's YouTube. Yeah.
Deva is a really good speedrunner. On their About section, they claim over 50 speedrunning world records, and according to Deva himself, he is the #1 speedrunner in the world.
And now, right now, in the position I am, I have no one to look up to. Like, I don't, sadly. And that's bad, because you can't improve anymore. Like, you can't improve if you don't have anyone to look up to.
Deva was well known in these—
No. You look up to yourself. Always be pushing. I mean, I could like look at the Aim Train community. There's a couple of people in there that are just so insanely good, and they keep on getting better and better. I'm talking about like Kovacs. The very tippy top people, like, they are still getting better. They are already #1 and they are still getting better. So it is entirely possible to be on top and keep getting better. I don't accept this at all. Like, I got no one to look up to. Well, you better figure it out, dude. Because if you don't, everyone else is going to meet you up there.
Speedrunning community for his lucky runs, and on his Alatreon runs especially, it was unbelievable how well behaved the monster seemed to be. For the past several years, Deva was light years ahead of the other speedrunners, beating Alatreon much faster than anyone else ever had. On his 2 fastest runs, Alatreon's behavior throughout the entire fight was almost identical, and Alatreon was spamming lightning rain more than anyone else had ever experienced. More specifically, and what's noteworthy, is that Alatreon did the lightning rain move twice in a row, which seemed to be particularly rare. The speedrunner Juzzy decided to look into these runs because they just seemed a bit suspicious. He asked other speedrunners if they had ever seen Alatreon use lightning rain twice in a row, and the answer was always no. No one else had ever seen it. Truthfully, no one else even thought it was possible for Alatreon to do this, and yet Deva had it happen multiple times. Juzzy then asked someone from the Monster Hunter modding community to look into the game's code, specifically the probabilities that govern Alatreon.
Yeah, gotta start data mining. I think a lot of the times in games, if you want to start pushing like the most top level performances, like you have to get into the game and start, I don't know, data mining, whatever you want to call it. I have no idea how to do any of this, but it sounds legit. I know this happens in other games like Apex Legends, in order to figure out like ring zones, loot boxes, the chances of items spawning in a loot box, position of the item in the loot box, the chances of a ring console or like a person scan console like spawning in. I mean, yeah, if you want to push the performance, I mean, you have to just data mine.
Behavior, and as it turns out, it should be literally impossible for Alatreon to do this.
Conclusion: Alatreon will never do 2 lightning rains in a row uninterrupted. The Charge Blade run sequence of getting up from Wallbang and Rage Roar, lightning rain is impossible. The Heavy Bowgun run sequence of Flinch, lightning rain is impossible. Alatreon AI in these runs must have been modified. Dang. Juzzy calling out. Doing the big call out.
Move twice in a row. Juzzy confronted Deva about this, and initially...
Did you fix Alatreon AI in Heavy Bowgun and CB runs? No.
Deva completely denied it, but after learning that Juzzy was about to go public with a video exposing Deva's cheating, he confessed to changing the enemy's AI in order to get faster speedruns.
There is so-called THK files, which basically alter the percentage of certain moves, and that has been used in my Alatreon on the Charge Blade run, which had like a higher percentage to increase the lightning attacks.
But what's interesting is that Deva...
So he confessed he did cheat. Okay.
...claimed that hacking the game to do this isn't wrong. According to Deva, it's not cheating if he changes enemy behavior because his speedruns are just for content and aren't competitive.
Oh, there's the gate post move. What's it called? Moving the goalpost. It's like I'm not applying my speedruns to like the official website or whatever these guys use to be like an official run. It'll be, well, then what was the name of the video? Why don't you just call it an unofficial world record? Why don't you put that in there? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like, this is kind of like along the lines of like, if you get a world record, you did it with steroids versus like, you get a world record and you did it without steroids. Like nobody cares about like the natty world record because it'll always be like way less than what the steroid world record will be. It'll always be like faster, stronger, more explosive, more speedy, whatever. And you know, the faster run, not gonna lie, it will always get more views versus like the natty random run.
In my opinion, there is nothing wrong with it. It's RNG. It's RNG manipulation just like everything else. Everyone can think differently. Of course, you can say it's an unfair advantage, but of course, as I said, I do non-competitive runs. It's just content.
But
oh, well, was there ever a part where... Did you ever say that your runs were always content before the accusation? I probably doubt it.
But as shown before, this isn't how Deva advertises his channel. He says he has legitimate world records, and nowhere has he ever publicly stated on any of his runs that...
Yeah, like he probably doesn't... He said, what did he have, like 50 world records? Well, you should probably rewrite that to say, I have 50 unofficial world records. Or TAS records.
The enemy's behavior has been modified, and as
I mean, and if even that's the case, like unofficial or TAS assisted, why not just fucking mod the monster? Like what? Why not just mod the monster to the moment you spawn in, just always do lightning rain? Like, where's the line? Where do you draw the line in the sand to be like, okay, this is fine, this is not fine, this is too gimmicky? Because obviously, if you spawn in and Alatreon just starts spamming fucking lightning rain for like 2 minutes, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, this never happens to me." Everyone's gonna like look at your build and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go make the heavy bowgun build," and then they go try to replicate it, and it's like, "Well, he's not doing the move that the lightning rain build." It's like, And it's just like false advertising.
As a result, all of his viewers think they are real, and some of the comments are pretty funny when you
Dude's game is so weird. I have this bug where the monster fight back. Oh my god.
know that he modifies the game. Despite what Deva claims, no reasonable person would ever see these videos and think they were anything other than a legitimate speedrun. And beyond,
I did. I thought they were all legitimate. I had no idea there was AI manipulation.
this, Deva is just straight up lying. While the main Monster Hunter World speedrunning leaderboards are no longer updated, Deva did submit his runs to them in the past, and his runs, which were world records at the time, are confirmed to also be hacked because of impossible enemy behavior. What's also troubling
so there is like an official website.
Is that according to Deva, many other players are doing the same thing. And he knows this because they asked him directly for the same software that allows him to do it.
And a lot of people...
Oh my god! Everyone else is doing it! Oh. Who else? Name drop. Drop names. You won't. Oh my god. Oh, the Santa Claus is not real. Tooth Fairy doesn't exist. Easter Bunny doesn't exist. There's no good speedrunners. God dang it. Everything is fake. Nothing is real. My day is ruined. Yet again.
Will use it. I won't mention any names, but I cannot count with two hands how many people use THK editing for
More than two hands. More than two hands of people.
for that, especially on Alachon. Many of your friends, many runners that you know, and I have screenshots of many people that ask for it, but of course I won't out any of it.
Oh shit, he got the receipts. He got the receipts, but he not gonna show them. Oh shit, that's funny.
Remember at the beginning of the video I described the Chinese speedrunner Badcat, who was dominating the game throughout the past year. This was actually one of Deva's friends, though it was a different impossible behavior that exposed him. During the fight Calv Taroth, the monster did a move right before dying called Max Punch. This move had never been seen during this particular phase of the fight by other speedrunners, so the monster's behavior was decompiled, and it was proven that this behavior was impossible.
Max Punch can only be called in the master rank Calv Taroth quest when function this thing is not active. Through our testing, we determined that function 10F is only active during phase 3 and rage. Therefore, Max Punch cannot occur during phase 3 and rage. The Calv Taroth AI in these runs must have been modified. Oh shit.
And against Alatreon, the monster performed the sweeping fire breath move when Badcat was standing relatively close. Usually this move is only performed when you're some distance away. At least, that was the experience of all of the other speed.
You know what I think? I think this is like an emerging community of people that just want to speedrun the game. And I think that Capcom should like oblige with this. Like maybe in the future, maybe like some update in Monster Hunter Wild, possibly. Like let's just come up with like some arbitrary thing that you have to get and then you unlock speedrun mode. Like let's say you have to get to like MR, I don't know, like pick a number. Like in Monster Hunter World, you had to get up to like, what was it, like master rank 200 or 250, and then you like essentially unlocked all the quests and shit and whatnot. So come up with some arbitrary master rank to get up to. Or I mean, because like this is my first introduction to like Monster Hunter was like World and Iceborne, so I don't know how like all the other ones went before it. So what they did in World is they did, was it low rank and high rank, and then a couple months, or like not more than months, like maybe a couple year, like a year or two went by. I don't know when Master Rank or Iceborne came out, and then Master Rank and Iceborne came out, and then you were able to like start working on your Master Rank, and that's like the thing that denotes like, you know, that's like your account level more or less. It was like low rank, high rank, master rank, or I think in other games it was called G rank apparently. So there's that. I think upon release you have to come up with something to like appease these people. So I don't know, maybe like reach like, I don't know, a high rank, I don't know, 200 or something, and you know, that'll allow like a lot of the players to like, oh, go get master rank, or not master rank, but like high rank 200, and then all of a sudden, boom, speedrun mode unlock, and like you get all the items, you get all the gear, you get all the gems, or whatever they do in Wilds, where you have just like everything unlocked and all the items are at your disposal of like 99999. You can set up your loadout and everything, and just enter like speedrun mode. And with speedrun mode, you just it'll be like, I don't know, would it be like in an arena or inside of an ecological zone where the monster always spawns like here or something? Like, just figure it out. Like, come up with some sort of like speedrun mode to like appease these people, because as it is, like right now, it seems like everybody's just modding the game to take away all the random aspects of it. You know, they're taking away random monster spawns. They're taking away like none of the other monsters are spawning. You know, you just saw like earlier in the video, like all the little gajalakas, like just just jumping on that the Frostfang Barioth, where normally I don't even think they spawn there. What else? Yeah, like people are just like people are modding the game to like get like a permanent food buff, like unlock all the recipes, to always get like the 100% like one that they want. People are just modding the game to take away all the random variables. So if that's already happening, just put in a speedrun mode to like attempt to normalize everything. And it's again something you just unlock, you know. Just, you know, everyone's gonna play the game like their first playthrough and just enjoy it, and then you get like some level and then just speedrun mode, bam, problem solved. But the thing with that is, if the game developer ever introduces like, I just thought of this, if the game developer ever introduces like a leaderboard for each type of quest or each type of monster for each type of weapon, leaderboards are subject to just being hacked. So that and that sucks too, to be honest, because whenever you think of like Monster Hunter, you don't really necessarily think of, oh, this game needs an anti-cheat to preserve the competitive integrity of the time attack leaderboards. It's like, no, I don't think Capcom would ever invest in like an anti-cheat for a leaderboard to preserve the competitive integrity for the leaderboard. So there's always that. So it's a throw my hands up in the air to like, what do you do for this?
Speedrunners. And once again, after looking at the game's code, they found it was impossible for Alatreon to choose that particular attack when you're standing that close. On the 1st of May, Juzzy uploaded a video of these findings. Previously, Bad Cat was uploading a new world record every few days, but after Juzzy's video, he uploaded one last video with the title, including the tag TAS, indicating a tool-assisted speedrun, and he hasn't been seen since. Another friend of Deva was a speedrunner known as Retro. He claimed the fastest Alatreon kill using the hammer, and his run again involved ridiculous luck, meaning that no one else was even close. In his case, on top of being lucky, Alatreon exhibited behavior that no one else had ever seen. After taking a certain amount of damage, Alatreon will transition into his dragon state, and after this transition, after performing several attack combos, Alatreon normally jumps into the air and begins to fly. For melee weapons, this greatly limits their ability to do damage. However, in Retro's run, Alatreon never flew, not a single time.
Damn.
And this allowed Retro to continue doing maximum damage with the hammer. And once again, when this specific area of Alatreon's code was examined, it was confirmed that after 3 or 4 attack combos, Alatreon is programmed to always fly. And the fact that Alatreon didn't fly on Retro's run confirmed that he was modding his game. When he was exposed, Retro claimed that he was using a no-fly mod to make his...
I mean, shit, whenever I was fighting Alatreon, it seemed that that motherfucker was always in the air. Like, oh, phase transition, time to go in the air and stay in the air. God damn, that shit was annoying.
casual play more fun, and he accidentally left it on. It's important to remember that a lot of the things that caught these runners out, these impossible monster behaviors, weren't intentional. It was an unintended side effect of modifying the probabilities of certain moves. But now that the impossible behavior has been identified, these modders will simply make their hacks more sophisticated, and these blemishes will be patched out. These are just several examples. Even more cheaters have been caught, and there are a lot of other speedrunners that also show these same telltale signs of being too lucky. If what Deva is saying is true, many more speedrunners are indeed using mods. And given that these cheaters all spawned from the same group, it's obvious they were all in on it together. This never used to be such a widespread problem in Monster Hunter. It seems to have arisen within the last several years, and the reason is pretty logical.
Well, one reason is about the same reason that follows with every FPS game. When an FPS game, or any game in general, reaches a certain level of popularity, and in the game there's at least some level of the game where you can take advantage and make a competitive aspect out of it, you will 100% believe that if people can make competition for it and it's popular, that opens the floodgates to allowing or to just cheat at the game. Look at fucking Fall Guys. There were people that were cheating in Fall Guys. It's fucking Fall Guys, for Christ's sake. All right? Like, holy shit. Same thing with any FPS game that gets popular. Like, some of the most sophisticated FPS cheats happen in what game, do you think? What's the most popular, like, one of the most popular FPS games ever? Counter-Strike 2. All right, you know, I could look on Steam charts. There's probably about like 900,000, a million players playing that shit right now. And yeah, they have the most complex cheats in that game. And it's a rat race, or not a rat race. It's a cat and mouse game of make new cheats. Developer has to upgrade their cheats, or anti-cheat. Then you upgrade the cheats again, and then upgrade the anti-cheat. Upgrade the cheat, upgrade the anti-cheat. And it's just an ever-growing cycle that seemingly never stops. So the reason why I would guess that cheaters started to emerge out in Monster Hunter World was because Monster Hunter World and Iceborne had massive success. You know, there's like 10 million units sold? Yeah. And with that, people started making like little speed runs for it. And so what's the next step? Oh, I got to get the best speed run. How do I do that? Oh, well, I can hack the game. Well, not hack the game, but like, well, maybe yes, hack the game, but like I can modify the monster behavior to make it so that he always does this move. And I'm just going to mod out everything so that I don't have to farm anything. I just get like all the infinite items. I'll get all the gear. I'll get all the gems and so on and so forth. I'll make the monster spawn at the same spot all the time. I'll make it spawn. I'll get it so that I don't have to do the food fucking buff every time. And it's just, it reached a level of popularity to invite notoriety from cheaters. You don't really see cheats being made for like some no-name game. It's only the popular games that get the cheaters.
Monster Hunter franchise has been around since 2004, but 2018 is when Monster Hunter World was released. This was an important entry to the franchise, because it was the first game to be released for the PC. PC is fantastic for the modding community.
Oh yeah, like look at this. This is, you could even like guess whether or not that, this is like even allowed in the game. Like this, what do you call it? I forgot. I don't even know what this mod is called. I just know it's like a thing in what's the mod website? I fucking forgot. But I knew that this was a thing. Like something that shows the monster's HP and the HP of all the monster parts or whatever to know that like and like all your status buildup. Like blast, drooling B. You have like a max of 6. This is the damage you're dealing up until you're going to start making him drool. The health of each leg to make him, get exhausted or whatever. The tail cut. I mean, I don't know what like tail plus is. How much stamina the monster has. The rage. That's crazy. I didn't even know rage was a thing. the health, like dang.
Because so many tools already exist for the PC that allow people to access and edit game files and modify the game. It is much harder to modify.
Oh, is raging, like, is this a timer that just like ticks down? So it's like what? Like a rage point a second?
Games on console because there is the added barrier of needing to develop specific software just to read and write files. And then when it comes to speedrunning on a PC, these modding tools also make it so much easier to cheat. On a PC, it's usually really simple to download a program that easily communicates with your game and changes the way it behaves. It's much harder to find software that could achieve these same goals on a console. So this recent epidemic of players cheating by modifying the game's AI is a result of the game being released on the PC. And sure enough, all of the players that are caught cheating in this way play on PC. Unfortunately, this new wave of cheaters have done irreparable damage to the Monster Hunter World speedrunning community.
I mean, I do have to like stand by my point though. If Monster Hunter World came out on PC and it was bad, I don't think it would have any cheaters in it. Having it like in PC only, I mean, you're not wrong either. But I don't think I'm wrong either. There's just like two variable points.
It's honestly impossible to know just how real something is if there aren't any glaringly obvious errors like impossible enemy AI. People will still continue to speedrun because they love the game, but they will always have to contend with other runners who modify the game and upload fake runs to YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a sad situation all round, and especially for those dedicated runners that really do play the game legitimately. Thanks for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
Dang. That was a good-ass video. That was another banger from Carl Jobst. Yeah. Yeah, look at this comment. Deva, it's not for speed running, it's just content. Also, Deva, I have achieved the pinnacle of Monster Hunter speedrunning. Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah. I mean, if you could take away anything, seeing all these like choreographed speedy fights is like, at the worst, it's just entertainment. It's entertaining to see like a monster swing, like see the character dodge and like up, you know, just do this like crazy like choreographed fight. It's entertaining. And whether or not, you know, I don't even know if like the general player base values like competitive integrity of speedruns. So I don't even know if that's a thing. But other than that, cool video. And yeah, just, you know, be a little wary next time, next Monster Hunter comes out, to see whether or not your favorite speedrunner is like a cheater or like a legit. So yeah, cool stuff. And I want to see more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.